In today's world, communism is a bad word. It's like a name you use for things you don't like. The government is raising taxes? Communist. Your friend doesn't support the US invasion of insert innocent country here? Communist. Your neighbor's dog is barking too loud? Communist.
My opponent stands with socialists and communists.
But I think we all know it's just a word, and communism is a serious economic system for a country. But why is everything bad called communist for the first place? Well, in school, or in general in North America, you were probably told this version of communism. Communism is a utopian world where everyone owns everything and everyone is sharing, but it doesn't work because in the end, an evil dictator owns everything and everyone is poor because human nature. Weird thing to be indoctrinating children in a supposed free country, but it's an opinion. This teaching comes from the Red Scare, when the government wanted to halt the spread of communism by indoctrination. One of the biggest things we use the word communism to describe something is authoritarianism. Most known dictators in history have been communist one, so we can think communism is authoritarian, and that's it. But what if I told you communism is an economic system, not political, and has nothing to do with if a country is democratic or not? Same goes for capitalism, which is economic. So all your life, the battle of democracy versus communism has been a lie, because communism has absolutely nothing to do with if a country is democratic. That makes sense, but you can think if every communist country was authoritarian, then it must be an inherent flaw of communism to always cause dictatorship. Economic circumstances can cause political change, but it's not all that simple. Most communist countries have actually been democratic. Before you click off this video or go into the comments and write communist propaganda, let me show my case for communism being democratic and actually being more democratic than any capitalist versions of democracy. Most capitalist countries have a multi-party representative democracy. I'll give you the example of my country, Canada. The most basic way I can put this is there are many political parties with different beliefs. There are two different elections. There are regional ones and then federal ones. There are different ridings all across the country, and these parties can run in as many ridings as they want. In the regional elections every 4 years, you vote for whatever party you support, and whichever party has the most seats wins the election. The same goes for the federal election. Both the government and regions have different jobs. Some countries have different system, like the USA's two-party system, but you get the idea. Now, most communist countries use the Soviet example. I'll give the example of the Cuban democratic system. The Cubans find flaws in this democracy. The biggest one is how campaigning works. Parties get funding from companies, and that means big companies decide the outcome of the election, and that is very corrupt. In Cuba, this is the election system. Cuba, there are 3 forms of government: municipal, provincial, and federal. The elections directly take place at the municipal level. Local elections take place where people elect candidates for municipal assemblies. There are no rallies or campaigns on TV, and candidates have to be over the age of 16 and doesn't have to be a member of the Communist Party. And anyone can run. Candidates campaign by writing a biography, and that's it. And elections take place by secret ballot. Once your local assembly is elected, all members don't get a salary and still work their normal job and go to the assembly. If you have a problem, like power outages or blocked drainage, you can confront your assembly members to help fix the problem. Out of these assembly members, they all vote by show of hands who will represent their community in the National and Provincial Assembly. In the National Assembly, half of the members are elected and the rest are selected out of other organizations. The assembly members act as lawmakers, and they all elect a president. Presidents have to be members of the National Assembly. No members can be funded by outside groups or political parties. There is only one recognized political party in Cuba and does not do anything, it acts more as a club. Does that sound authoritarian to you? I mean, it's not the democracy we have here, it's better. They may not have two political parties that win every election and do the exact same stuff, but at least it's something. You could even argue communism makes a country more democratic. Almost every world leader under capitalism has been filthy rich, because under capitalism, the election result is decided on who gets the most campaign funding. A majority of election victories have been won by the party with the most funding. It's very weird too, because usually parties funded by companies will favor the company's interests.
And I'm not going to lose that wealth. I'm not going to lose it on dreams, on windmills, which frankly aren't working too well.
Under communism, the people's interests are always first. There is no companies funding parties. The economy is planned and companies aren't working for profits, but to make the country better. Under communism, the owners of the company are the workers. You elect your boss, and you know what's best for your workplace, not corporate. Your local community has the right to refuse laws and can actually protest. As you have probably figured out, I am a communist and will be posting more. This is my first long-form video. If you disagree with me that communism is democratic and is even more democratic than capitalist countries, then leave your opinion in the comments, and I will reply to you as soon as I can. See you in a while.